Currency exchange. Throughout Europe, the most common currency in use is the euro. Other countries have their own currencies, such as the British pound, the US dollar, the South African rand. There are many occasions when someone needs to change one kind of currency into another. For example, when travelling outside the Eurozone or buying products online. At most financial institutions, such as banks, post offices, and the Bureau de Change, we can exchange one currency for another. The currency exchange rates change daily. When currency is being exchanged, the customer is often charged a commission. Commission is a percentage charge on the amount converted and is paid to the financial institution for the service provided. Before going on holiday to Japan and Australia, Frank changed €1,000 to Japanese yen and €2,500 to Australian dollars. The exchange rates were €1 equals 1.24 yen and €1 equals $1.29. Part 1. How many yen did Frank get? Part 2. How many Australian dollars did Frank get? So let's start with part 1. How many yen did Frank get? So if we go back to our question, we can see the blue parts relate to the yen. So I'm going to start by writing down the exchange rate, which is €1 equals 1.24 yen. So we want to change €1,000 into yen. So we know that €1 is equal to 1.24 yen. So we want to know what €1,000 is equal to in yen. So we know that €1 is equal to 1.24 yen. We want to know what €1,000 is equal to in yen. So underneath €1 equals 1.24 yen, I've written €1,000 equals X. So this is what we're trying to figure out. What is €1,000 in yen? So to go from 1 to 1,000, we would have multiplied by 1,000. And whenever you're dealing with currency exchange, you're always multiplying or dividing. You never add or subtract. So we want to go from 1 to 1,000. So in order to do that, we multiply by 1,000. So what we do to the left, we do to the right. So we're going to multiply 1.24 by 1,000, and that will give us X. That will give us how many yen Frank got. And 1.24 multiplied by 1,000 is 1,240 yen. This little symbol here is like a Y. It just stands for yen. Next, we want to figure out how many Australian dollars he gets for €2,500. So anything highlighted in yellow relates to the Australian dollars. So similar to part 1, we're going to start with the exchange rate, which is €1 equals $1.29. And we want to change 1 into 2,500. So in the same way I've set it up like part 1, we know that €1 equals $1.29. We're interested in €2,500. So what is that equal to in dollars? And I'm going to call it X. So to get from 1 to 2,500, and remember with currency exchange you only ever multiply or divide, you never add or subtract. To get from 1 to 2,500, we multiply by 2,500. So what we do to the left, we do to the right. So we're going to say 1.29 multiplied by 2,500 will give us X. Will give us how many Australian dollars he gets. And 1.29 multiplied by 2,500 gives us $3,225. So for Frank's €1,000, he gets 1,240 yen. And for his €2,500, he gets $3,225. Don't forget the symbol for the money, because you would lose a mark if you forgot that. So that's the dollar symbol, that's the yen symbol, but they will be given to you in the question. To convert from another currency to euro takes more steps. The unitary method is the best way to convert, as the following examples show. Peter travelled to England for the weekend and took £300 spending money with him. If the exchange rate was €1, equals 80p, or 0.8 pounds, what was the equivalent amount in euro? So what's £300 worth in euro? So like the other questions, we start off with the exchange rate. So €1 equals 0.8 pounds, or 80p. So we want to change 0.80 to 300. And remember, with currency exchange, you can only multiply or divide. So it would be very tricky to figure out what number to multiply this by to get 300. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to change this to £1. And that's why this is known as the unitary method, where you change it to 1 unit. We're going to change this to £1. And then when we have it at £1, we can just multiply by 300 to get £300. And we'll just follow the rule that what we do to the right, we do to the left. So we will apply the same steps to the €1. Now to change anything to 1, you just simply divide by itself. So to change this to 1, we're going to divide by 0.80. So 0.80 divided by 0.80 gives us £1. And we will do the same on the left in a minute. Now that we have this at £1, we want it to change to £300. And to change from £1 to £300, and we can only multiply or divide, we multiply by 300. So £1 multiplied by 300 gives us £300. So what we do to the right hand side, we must do to the left hand side, and that will give us X. That will give us the equivalent in euro. So we started with €1 on the left. We're going to divide by 0.80 and then multiply by 300, and that will give us X. That will give us the equivalent to £300. So 1 divided by 0.80 multiplied by 300 is €375. So with this particular exchange rate, £300 in sterling is equal to €375. So the most important part here is changing the 0.80 to £1. Again, this is known as the unitary method. And just remember that anything divided by itself is equal to 1. So anytime you want to change in currency exchange, you want to change an amount into 1, whether it's £1, €1, $1, whatever it is, you divide by the number itself. So 0.80 divided by 0.80 gives us 1. And then we simply had to multiply that 1 by 300, or whatever it is, the amount that we're looking for. And the steps that we did on the right, we must also do on the left. Mary took $2,000 to the USA on holidays. The exchange rate was €1 equals $1.33. How much did this cost Mary in euro? So just like all the other currency exchange questions, we start off by writing out the actual exchange rate. So €1 is equal to $1.33. So we want to know what $2,000 is in euro. So similar to the last question, we're going to start off by changing this to 1, because we can only multiply or divide with currency exchange, and it would be very tricky to work out what we would multiply this by to straight away get 2,000. So to avoid having to figure that out, we divide this by itself, so anything divided by itself is 1, and then we multiply by 2,000. So 1.33 divided by 1.33 gives us 1. Remember, anything divided by itself gives us 1. So now that we have $1, we now want to get to $2,000. So we're going to multiply 1 by 2,000. And $1 multiplied by 2,000 gives us $2,000. And that's going to be equal to X. That's going to be equal to what we're looking for, which is the money in euro. So the steps we applied to the right hand side, divide by 1.33, multiplied by 2,000, we must also apply to the left hand side. So we'll have 1 divided by 1.33 multiplied by 2,000 will give us X, will give us the amount in euro. So 1 divided by 1.33 multiplied by 2,000 gives us 1,503.75 9398. Now, we know that money has 2 decimal places, so this part is going to be very, very important. We want to round this off to 2 decimal places. So if you want to round to 2 decimal places, you circle the second decimal place, which in this case is a 5. This is known as the rounding digit, that's why I've labelled it as RD. So this is the digit that we either round up or we stay the same. The number to the right of the rounding digit we underline and call that the telling digit. That's why there's a capital T underneath. So the 9 is the telling digit. The 9 is going to tell the 5 what to do. So the 9 is going to tell the 5 to either round up to 6 or stay the same as 5. So let's focus on 9. So the rules of rounding are 5 or more, let it soar, so let it go up. 4 or less, let it rest. So 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest. So 9 is a part of 5 or more. So that means the 5 is going to round up to 6. So we have these squiggly equal signs, which means approximately equal to. So the 5 has rounded up to 6 and everything else stays the same. So this amount is approximately equal to €1,503.76. So Mary's $2,000 is approximately equal to €1,503.76.